Stakes podcast. It's been a hot minute since we're back, but today we have a very special and legendary episode for you. We're going to be discussing Ryan Coogler's Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan.
We've been gone a long time. We back now. You twins? Nah, we cousins.
There are legends of people with the gift of making music so true. It can conjure spirits from the past and the future. This gift can bring fame and fortune.
Well, somebody take me in your eyes.
But it also can pierce the veil between life and death.
Jordan. And we're back with Slim, and he gonna give us a synopsis.
Yo, what's going on? The synopsis is going to start over here. We got Sinners. It's about two identical twins, Smoke and Stack, returning to the Mississippi Delta after living years in Chicago. They basically come back with all this money and this alcohol and all this booze, and they're just they're planning to make some money with this juke jam they're making. So they're primarily just going around recruiting people
Yes.
to join the juke jam.
Yeah, and then we get some crazy, horrific twists. This is basically like two dudes try to start up a club with drug money, but in the 30s.
Yeah, it's like what you think would happen. It does happen, but it's like that happens after something else happens. You know what I mean?
It goes down. All right, we're going to have to give our spoiler warning. If you haven't seen Sinners, go see it. It was amazing in IMAX. No, seriously, if you have not seen the film, go watch it, because spoiling it is not worth it. This is one of the best movies I think I've seen in a long time, maybe the past 10 years. One of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Definitely top 5 horror movies of all time. So go see Sinners. All right, we're getting into it. Oh, my God. I don't even know where to start. This is peak. Now, Ryan Coogler said, usually, in my opinion, people who do IP, like I know the Russo brothers have struggled with this, when they try to do their own thing, it's not that good. Or when they're used to doing their own thing and they just don't go to IP.
Yeah.
But bro did Black Panther, big Marvel movies, and then he said, step back and watch this. Original content, never before seen. Story by Ryan Coogler, and oh my God, he ate.
See, I don't know if you know, man, but he is basically Michael B. Jordan's director, dude.
Yes, yeah, it's like a Quentin Tarantino, but for black people.
That's everything he's in, man. I just love it.
Yes, that's absolutely amazing. Man, so initial impressions coming out of the movie, emotional feelings. Did you enjoy it? And then we'll get into like specific parts of it.
Oh man, I would definitely say I enjoyed it. Like, this is, I've heard somebody describe it as a musical, and it really is. Not in like the sense of the Wizard of Oz or something like that, but this is its own thing. It feels black, like this blues music that we hear throughout the entire movie. Man, it really gets to you, and I think the ending really hits home too.
Oh my God, yes. There's an absolutely legendary scene that we'll get to later. But the film itself was basically black excellence. And it wasn't preachy. This was okay. I heard another podcast talk about this as well. The Midnight Boys were over there. It was either Midnight Boys or Higher Learning, but they were discussing that the movie wasn't. I think it was Higher Learning. They were discussing that it wasn't preachy, in a way that was kind of like in your face and super direct. It was an amazing story about vampires, love, and sin, but it wasn't about the black experience. It just had black characters in it. So obviously, because the characters were black, their experience played a large part in it. But it was a narrative that everyone can enjoy with black actors.
Yeah, I was gonna say like some people can feel like the church can bring like a lot of preachiness, obviously, and the church is in this movie, but only for like the first and very last scene.
Yes.
So it's mainly as the movie is like they sin in for the most part.
Yes, there was interesting narrative choices here. Like a Spike Lee movie is amazing, like for what it's telling you about the experience. This movie is just like I said, the characters making certain decisions, and there are some interesting narrative choices that the movie
Yeah.
goes with that are kind of contrary to what we'd expect from like an maybe an older film or more like I don't want to say dull, but just a film where you can kind of predict what's going on. So,
Hmm.
oh man, it's time to get into it. So I think we can. I think cutting this movie into three parts, like three acts, kind of in a classic way, is the best way to do it. Because this movie really, to me, feels like three different movies.
Hmm.
There's the juke joint, which is the club that they're trying to come up with. So it's like this hustle. It's hustle to succeed story, get the band back together kind of story. There's a love story that happens in the second part of the movie, and then there's the third act, which completely flips the fucking script and becomes a nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
So first act. Oh, I'm right before I
We can
get
talk about
into
the opening scene.
we gonna get into right before I get into it though. Oh yeah, basically leaving the film, I felt absolutely amazing, rejuvenated, couldn't stop fucking yapping about it. The first thing I kept thinking in my head was, I haven't seen anything like that, and I need to go see it again. But
Yes.
post initial reactions. So the opening scene is insane because I've been hearing other people talk about this too, and I was talking about it
Hmm.
within the first. I actually heard Jimmy Fallon talk about it too. Within the first 120 seconds of the movie, there is a violent jump scare. So our protagonist is a very new actor, and
First movie, I believe.
first movie, I believe. So his alias is Preacher Boy, and he pulls up in his dad's church with this beautiful looking handmade guitar, and he's completely tattered, and he's bloody, and he's got scratch marks on his face, and this guitar is exploded, it's shattered, it's only the top
Smashed.
of it.
Yeah.
It's just gone. He walks in the middle of a sermon, and his father's like, come in here, boy, put that music down, like basically let the devil out of you. And he's just gripping it, and it just violently cuts to like these fucking creatures in the night.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's very loud, it's in your face, it's an immediate jump scare, and it's right in the middle of the daytime. It just cuts to this. So instantly my heart almost exploded in the theater, because I did not expect to get scared that fast. Even though I saw the interview, I thought he was just playing.
No, they got me.
Yes, so they immediately set the tone by putting the audience on edge, which I think is a genius choice for the movie, because the horror elements come later, but they want you to feel that sense of tension throughout the film. They don't want it to kind of like, they don't want you to forget that it's a horror movie, so when the horror stuff happens, you kind of get confused. The whole time
Hmm.
you're kind of cowering behind, your popcorn, waiting to see if you're going to get scared again.
Oh yeah, I can think of the next jump scare. You were talking about in the daylight, and I was like, I was trying to think of the other example, but yeah, we're gonna get there. I just remember. So
Yes,
yeah.
it kind of felt like Smile 2 in that way, where like there was like
Right. I was just thinking about that.
yes.
Just like the quick, they just show another screen, loud music, go back.
Yes, yes. So this is that classic movie that starts like first couple minutes with the end of the film, and then it cuts to rewinding. So it'll be like boom, 1932, small town in Mississippi, and so pretty much off rip we're introduced to the Smokestack Twins. So it's Michael B. Jordan playing twins. Immediate red flag initially, because before, when someone plays twins instead of having two actors, it sucks, because you can always tell that the cameras are like separate, that they're not, two people aren't physically in the same spot, and the actor usually has a hard time portraying two different characters. But oh my god, like Michael B. Jordan did that. Like, dude, like people were like, oh, he's acting as just whatever before, but I'm like first of all, I love him in Creed and Killmonger. Like, I think he can act, but like in this one, he was like, check this out. He plays two distinct characters,
When
and because they invented that new camera technology
technology,
called the Halo or whatever, with the cameras around his neck, it feels like he's in the same scene of it with himself. It's crazy.
the first scene of like we see them when they're buying the bar from the white man,
Yes.
they are exchanging a cigarette, lighting
Oh
it,
my god, yeah,
pushing
there
it,
is a flex,
passing it
dude.
back and forth, and I'm
Dude.
like, this is two people.
Dude, this is literally just a directorial and a special effects flex, because
Yeah.
because it's just a still shot of them passing each other this cigarette, and you're just like, you're immediately committed. Like this,
Yeah.
just everything about this movie is Kayla was actually talking about this, is foreshadowing and just showing you stuff through how it's shot. It doesn't have to be explained to you or whatever,
Mhm. Oh,
like
visual based
they never went.
storytelling.
They never went. We're the Smokestack Twins. We're from Chicago.
No.
Like they didn't have to do any of that. Yeah. So Fat white dude pulls up, and he's like, I'm gonna sell you this barn, and obviously he's suspicious, and he calls them boy, and then you
Yeah.
could, and it immediately establishes the tone of the Smokestack twins and how they might be ruthless, because he's like, ain't no boy around here, and then bro pulls a knife, like a brass knuckles knife out of his pocket. Michael B. Jordan's character does, either Smoke or Stack. I think it was Smoke.
I think smoke. Yeah.
And then Stack walks behind him, and he's got a fucking gun. So they're ready to smoke this dude off rip, like over words. So you're like, okay, these guys don't play.
Oh no, we see that later on too, but like even when he just like hands him the money, I'm like, I don't know what was gonna happen right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, you're like, damn. So yeah, he's like, make sure you know you and your clan buddies don't show up, referring to the Ku Klux Klan, because if so, he's gonna shoot him on sight. And he's like, you don't got to worry about that. The Klan's disbanded.
Yeah.
Obviously a lie.
And that
Pam.
was the hardest cap I have heard.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, the Klan is still
Yeah.
out here today.
Yes.
What is he talking about?
Yeah, and then obviously we find out later he is the Grand Wizard. So like like obviously, um,
Oh man.
yeah. So we head into town, and so now we start introducing more characters. So we bought ourselves the barn, which we're going to turn into the club, and now we got to go get staff members and people to join it. So Smoke
I
and
think they
Stack.
pick up Sammy first, right?
Yes.
They go
Yep.
around to the sharecroppers
Yep. They
where
go
they start.
pick up Preacher Boy. Um, they're like, "How's your dad?" And this is an interesting interaction of kind of like generational perspectives, because
Mhm.
they pick him up and they're like, "How's your dad?" referring to the preacher, and he's fine. He's still on me about going to church all the time. They're like, "He's not hitting you, is he?" And they're like, "Nah, he's still good. He tries his best." And then they talk about their
Mhm.
father. Um, and obviously you find out later that they killed their own father because he was
He
extraordinarily
was
abusive.
Smoke specifically, right? I think
Yes.
the one in blue.
Yes. They killed their own father over a physical abuse, and but I think there's a line where they don't necessarily agree with it, but they're like, "It is what it is," kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I think the Stack was telling him that his father knocked Stack out, but Smoke killed him, and he woke
Right.
up, he was already dead or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they tell him that the guitar that you find out they gave Sammy the guitar, and that it's this super famous guitar player's guitar. So he kind of has even more obsession with it, because you can tell it's his most prized possession is this handcrafted guitar
Oh
that they
yeah, for
gave him,
sure.
and he
Hmm.
he's a music player, and that's his whole thing. His the preacher. Before he leaves to go hang out with the cousins, is like, that music is the devil, and one day the devil's gonna follow you home. So we're already foreshadowing what's going on there. And yeah, so we go into town. We start to separate. Obviously, we get a little bit of the Smokestack, like cooperation and murdering things, because there's a snake in this big truck. They show Sammy that they've been hiding, and they
That
kill the
was that
snake.
jump scare.
Yep.
That jump scare, I was not expecting that
Yep.
one either.
Snake come out of nowhere. They kill it, and then
Oh, the way they kill it too, like he throws in the
it was
knife
so
and
dramatic. That was
grabs
so
it.
dramatic. Like that. Like what? Like what are we doing? Like
No.
seriously, what are we
They're
doing?
just showing like how like entwined they are, the
Yeah.
twin tuition.
The twin tuition, yes. It's like a Disney movie.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, so the wagon that they were hiding is filled with liquor, and so they came from Chicago, perceivably as gangsters and criminals, with a whole bunch of money, with Italian wine and Irish beer.
Hmm.
And this small town in Mississippi has been basically drinking corn whiskey moonshine for their entire lives. They ain't never had like real beer and wine. So
I think it's also implied that they work with Al Capone. I'm
it
pretty
is.
sure I hear a character say that. Yeah.
Yes. Well, which I don't know was like was hyperbole, or if it was just like they really were part of Al Capone's game, but they're clearly like mafiosos. Full
Yeah,
suit.
they kill.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Full pinstripe suit, guns. They're ready to murder.
Yeah.
I also really enjoyed that their criminality. Like we didn't have to get a 20-minute scene describing the last bank robbery they hit. It was just like we pretty much pick up what's going down. They finessed
Mhm.
somebody that they were working with, took all that shit and brought it down to Mississippi. So they're not on the run, but they're kind of in hiding. They were done with Chicago, um, and they were like, it's time to make a name for ourselves down here in Mississippi. So
Yeah.
we get introduced to the reputation, because they go into town, and they meet the shop owner, which is an Asian man and his wife,
The
and
Grayson Bow.
yes, Grace and Bo, which I absolutely love too because it showed like how different ethnic groups were also participating in certain areas of the
Mhm.
old American South. You know, working in concert with black people and sharecroppers at this time. So you know they're a part of the community. They're family, and they're like, boom, we need a sign. We need food. You know,
100-pound
hundred
catfish.
hundred hundred pound catfish, and then you can tell they were hustler. They're all hustlers, and they're all hustlers back in the day because you know they start negotiating, and so you can tell there's that element to it. Uh,
hmm
uh, I get Smoke and Stack confused. So
Smoke is the one that went into town, and then Stack is with Sammy.
okay,
That's
so
when they
Smoke
split
is
up.
Red
Yeah.
Hat,
Smoke is blue.
Smoke is blue.
Yeah, Stack is
Okay,
red.
okay. So Smoke pulls up into town, and he pays a little girl to sit in the wagon with all the liquor. And this is like, oh, the comedy in this movie is perfect.
It's so funny.
He's like, hey, if anybody comes stare at this wagon a little bit too long, come let me know. So after we do the deal with Bo, you hear the horn come up. So this man Smoke is on business. He comes outside and there's two dudes rustling through the wagon, and he just pulls out a gun, shoots one of them in the ass immediately, just broad daylight, middle of town, shoots this guy in the ass, and
Yes.
he's like ah, and then we get this like hilarious bit where he's like he's like how you doing, because you know they're old friends, and he's like good
Old
until you
friend.
shot me in the ass.
And the other
Yeah,
guy.
and the other guy's just sitting there, and there's like a still shot, and he just shoots him in the leg, and
I mean, like his kneecap, man. I'm like, why did he shoot him there?
yes, and what the hell did you do that for? He's like, I couldn't have y'all go talk about how y'all two almost robbed the Smokestack twins and had nothing to show for it. So,
For almost robbing, and that just shows you like their characters,
yes, bro.
man.
Yeah, you
That's
know.
all.
Yeah, and like that scene alone, it spoke for the Smokestack twins. It's like they stand on business. If you mess with them, they're gonna they're not gonna tolerate it. So you just know from that point forward, anyone that's gonna mess with them is gonna get got. Um,
Yeah.
I also like if you notice there wasn't a sheriff. There's no policing agency in this sharecropping town. It's not like someone came to confront him about this crime. It's kind of
Mhm.
lawless there. Like what keeps the town functioning properly is just this community that wants to succeed together through through struggle and appreciation for one another. It's not like there's no law.
Seeing as there's like a white side of town, I don't know if they like police that more or like don't care if there is like black on black crime.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's the case, but I feel like they would still have some type of law,
I think the implication
especially.
is that likely the sheriffs would just stay protecting their own stuff,
Yeah.
from these
They only
black
have like two
sharecroppers.
sheriffs.
Right.
One's like down by 5 miles north, and the other one's doing something else. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, Kurt Russell is currently fighting the Wendigo or something. So, um,
Oh man, no, but we forgot to talk about like the Chinese family. I think they have to go. The mom, Grace, she has to go across the streets to the other store where her daughter is working, and it's the all white store. And the
oh
fact that they have
yes,
two stores on the
yes,
opposite sides of the street,
yes,
and one's just super nice and glamour and perfect, and the other one just it looks fine, but it's just
yes. It's
not
very, and that's
ideal, I
that,
guess.
and that's that hustle we were talking about too. They
Oh
like,
yeah,
they
hey,
realize because of their standing or perception from both sides, they can just sell to both sides. So,
yeah,
they're just making money off everybody, but that's everybody in the movie. It's like everyone's just trying to get their piece, some extra
get
bread.
by.
And so, man, like that shit is so funny. Yeah. So, also Ryan Coogler once again flexing, which I absolutely fucking love. The tracking shots that follow these characters from store to store and place to place. The background doesn't rest.
hmm
All of the extras and the rest of the cast is fluently doing something. So the camera just follows these characters in the background. People are working, washing their feet, hitching horses. Getting together, like, so the world feels alive. This small town really feels like it's hustling and bustling at like 10 a.m. or whatever. So it wasn't like a dull thing, because in a lot of old western movies or stuff like this, there's like four guys sitting on a porch in this massive set in downtown Los Angeles. um, that they built somewhere, but this one really felt like they were just like kind of in the bayou.
I've got a lie, yeah, for sure. It's a really hard thing to pull off, and they did it. It's like it looks great.
Yes. Yeah, they get their liquor, they get the band back together on that side of things. So they switch over, and now we're with Smoke, right?
We are
Yes.
with Stack. We are with Stack and
Okay.
Sammy, and they are recruiting
Delta
Delta,
Slim,
Delta Slim.
Delta Slim, and Haley Steinfeld. Like that's what's going
Yeah,
on.
Delta Slim. We have Delta Slim is basically the oh man, what is his name from Bone Tomahawk, man? Chicory.
Oh, that's great. Yes,
No.
Chicory, aka Bass Reeves.
Yes.
Uh,
He's this old he is a drunk, right? I mean, like
yeah,
he's
raging
just
alcoholic, plays the
raging
blues.
alcoholic, plays the blues for money outside like they were outside like a train station or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. He's like the most locally well-known blues player, and he's just
Yep.
going nuts on this harmonica.
Killing it,
Um,
man.
yes, and Stack is an absolute salesman. He walks up and he's like, "Man, y'all fine gentlemen doing all right?" And they have their introduction or whatever, and he's like,
Yeah.
You're talking to the best guitar player, like this side of the Mississippi or something."
He
He's
was
hyping
hyping
his
him
cousin
up.
up. Yep. And she's like, "So you gonna come down to our new juke joint?" He's getting a crowd together. He's just really advertising the club. And
Mhm.
Slim is like, "Nah, bro, I'm good. I've been going to the same place downtown for 20 years, and I'm gonna do it another 10 years because they pay me this." And he's like, "I'll pay you $100." And he's like, "Even if you paid me $100, are you gonna be like the longevity of it?" He's making a smart business decision. He's considering
Mhm.
that he doesn't want to give up this steady paycheck, and he's drinking his corn whiskey. And then what sells him is bro pulls out a bottle of
Oh,
beer,
Irish beer,
and
yeah.
he's like, "Boy, is that beer!" And he takes the most, like, this is acting. This is the most savored gulp of any drink I've ever seen in film history. This man sips beer as if it was straight from the fountain of youth. Like he takes that sip, you hear that swallow, and he goes, he just looks, he just
Well,
looks at him.
I've never had corn whiskey, but I can go ahead and assume that it's not the most
It's got to be
favorable
the worst
alcohol.
shit ever. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
So
like
like a simple beer, it just blows like a sharecropper's mind who's just down the south and never had it before. Yeah,
I
it's
just
pretty crazy.
imagine if you were to just hard boil kernels, driftwood, and rusty nails, that's what
Hmm.
corn whiskey would taste like. It's got to be like the most abominable creation ever.
Yeah.
Because every time they sip it in any movie ever for the last 50 years, the person winces as if they just drank bleach. They're like,
Hmm.
they take a sip, they're like, ugh, oh my God, like every time,
See, at that point, you just drinking to get drunk,
You do.
and it's like when you have more money, you get to drink to get drunk, but also enjoy the flavor of whatever you're drinking, basically.
The scene in Back to the Future where Doc takes a shot and he just falls through the table at the saloon because it's so strong. That's what I imagine like a regular person in 2025 would react to drinking corn whiskey.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, no.
So yeah, he takes a sip of the beer. He's like, "This is amazing," and he's like, "How about this? $400 tonight and all the beer you can drink." And he's like, "Deal." Okay.
Yes.
And then in the corner of his eye, we see a white woman, and we're like, as a black audience, we're like, "Oh God, this can't be good."
Oh man.
And
Yep.
it's
Oh man.
Haley Steinfeld, aka Mary. She starts walking up. She's like, "Stack, is that you?" And you're like, "Oh man, how's this going?" And then Sammy's like, "This white woman staring at you," and he's like, "Just keep looking forward. She ain't looking at me,"
Yeah.
indicating they obviously know each other. So Stack comes up. Everybody kind of huddles like around to see what's going on. They don't want to get involved because it's dangerous for black people to interact with white people this time. Nobody, especially a white woman, nobody wants to get murdered for some nonsense.
Lynched. Yeah.
Correct. So you find out, and by the way, I did not expect Haley Steinfeld to give this kind of performance. This whole movie is
Nah.
just way too freaky. Like the whole
The
movie.
way she talked,
Oh
man,
my god.
it's crazy.
She was basically like she was like, so like you left me after saying you was gonna be with me forever, and he says some, and she's basically like, so she's like, so when you was fucking me the other day and you was saying this, that, and the third, that didn't mean nothing. Just very vulgar, direct language. Um,
Yes.
and you're like, wait, hold on, god damn, like
I know. And she just so happens to be in town because of her mother's passed away, so she doesn't even live there anymore. She's just in town for a bit, and it's
Yes,
like kind of good slash bad timing.
yes, it's
But
it's all the hometown kids coming back to visit, and
right, because we find out that her mother raises both the twins after I'm assuming the father dies, right? I
yes,
don't think that's said, but it's implied.
yes, there is an interesting circumstance there where this white family was intertwined with this black family, and it
Mhm.
seems like you're not really sure what the vibe is. You don't know if it's kind of like a situation where it's like an advantage taking, but it seems like they did genuinely care for one another. But obviously, there's still like the huge gap in equity and civil rights and stuff between them. So
That's what I was gonna say. Like, kind of like I thought she was gonna be more of the vixen, the problem, like
yes,
her being a seductress towards him and leading him away from his brother. But this is like they known each other. Like
yes,
this is his girl, and his brother has his girl. Like this is
right.
how that is.
This very genuine connection
Yeah,
it seems
Elsa's grand.
between these two
Okay.
characters. Yes. So she I think she overhears that the juke joint's opening up, so she leaves, and then we'll get back to her later. And then we cut
Mhm.
back to Smoke, who is who we meet his ex-wife slash love interest, and she is a I can't remember the name. So her name is Annie, in the movie, and the character
Come
she
on, Pichu
plays.
from
Oh
what's
yes,
his name? It Pichu from Loki,
yeah,
right? Is that her
gotcha.
name?
Yeah, yeah. She's part of the
Oh,
Time Variance Authority, for all time, always. So she is. I don't know the particular name of people who practice this kind of magic,
oh,
um,
oh,
but
oh, it's hard. Yeah, I know what you mean. Go ahead.
it's essentially she essentially it's not it's I don't even think it's specifically voodoo, but this southern black um, uh, like almost witchcraft.
Supernatural.
Yeah, it's like supernatural communication with like ancestors, and it's almost like witchcraft and potion making and things like that essentially. And she owns
Mhm.
essentially a medicine shack with like herbs and stuff that'll help with different ailments, like including supernatural stuff. And you find out that Smoke and her had a baby together that unfortunately passed away in their infancy, and that's not necessarily what ended the relationship, but you can tell
Part
the right
of the vibe.
the hardened upbringing of Smoke and Stack with their father, the passing of this young infant child. It kind of hardened them, and that's why they left. Like they didn't have anything
Mhm.
left in Mississippi except tragedy, and that's a big theme in this movie too. It's just like the town where somebody grows up isn't enough, so they want to leave to go like make something more. And
Mhm.
there's good things and bad things for that. Um, so yeah, then there's like a very intimate sex scene between the two of
Oh
them.
man. Oh
Um,
man, this movie is sexy,
the
man.
first of many, yeah. Um, so yes, and now the only person we gotta pick up left is Cornbread. So we gotta go
Right.
get.
So this happens, I think, oof, after the train scene. They have. Wait, no.
I think we go.
I want
Yeah,
to talk about
because
the scene where Stack and Sammy are just driving in the car by themselves. I think this is before they
oh,
get
that's important. Yeah,
cornbread.
I think they're on the way to meet up with
Either Slim or Cornbread. Is one of the two.
yeah, because
Because on the way.
they're gonna meet soon. They're both of their cars are gonna be next to each other after they picked up Cornbread, played by
Mhm.
Omar Miller. But yes, so while they're in the car, you talk about that scene because that's a really
Oh,
important one too.
it's just- I can't describe it more than like just black boy joy, man. It's just Sammy pulls out the guitar and he start going. He hitting them just singing, man. And
Amazing
Stack is
performance.
hyping him. He whoa yeah, that's my
Yeah.
cousin. I'm like, oh man, that felt so nice. And his voice was like that's some soul, man. He was
Yes,
killing that guitar too.
Miles Caton is like he's genuinely a lovely musician. He sounds like you feel the soul coming out of his music. A legendary performer when it comes to music and as his
Even like
acting
how he
debut.
talks.
Yes.
I can't describe it. Like, you know what I'm talking about? It's like he has something that's like in the back of his mouth, but it just sounds so natural for like how they would talk back then. But I think
Yes.
that's even how he talks like today.
Yeah, he's got extraordinarily deep bass in his voice, especially for a young man. So you can,
Mhm.
he just sounds like a blues musician.
He is born for it.
Yes, if it was a couple of years later, he'd have a saxophone. It's just like,
Mhm.
it's just that kind of vibe to him. And there's this amazing like camaraderie between the two of them, and there's also a bit of like real talk too, because like obviously when you have parents or family close to you and you're kind of young, people aren't going to tell you how it is, but he's saying, I'm gonna tell you like it is, because he's like, oh, I'm thinking about moving out to Chicago with you. I love playing music and everything. And he kind of gives him the speech where he's like, Chicago is just Mississippi, because he's trying to escape Jim Crow. Sammy is. And he's
Mhm.
like, Chicago is just Mississippi with skyscrapers instead of cotton fields, which is like,
Yeah.
that's a huge sentiment. It's like all the stuff about racism being gone somewhere else is a myth. It exists. It's very prevalent. Nobody wants you to succeed, no matter where you go. And he also kind of says, like, you should enjoy where you're at here, in this small town, because being around black people who will support you is kind of invaluable,
Mhm.
is what I think he was trying to tell him. Which is obviously like, it creates conflict, because music is his thing and he wants to travel and become a famous musician, but also he's being told that, like, staying where he's at, it's just like it's telling
Yeah.
any
It's the
kid.
classic stay and go, right?
Right,
Like,
yeah,
I don't want to stay on the farm, Pop.
yeah,
I want to do music.
yeah. Oh no, literally, he's, oh, I want to be a singer. um
Yes.
so they go pick up Omar Miller from a cotton field. He's getting it together, and they're like, "Hey, come on now, get in here. We gonna need you." And he's like, "I'm not trying to be in all your hustles and your shenanigans again. I got my
Mhm.
wife." And he kind of makes fun of his wife, and he's like, "Man, the way your wife would get down on you if she found out how much money we're paying." And he's like, "Stop being disrespectful," and he's about to fight
Dude,
him.
so he's about to pull up
Oh
on him.
yeah,
How tall is he?
Omar Miller. Oh my,
Omar Miller, a big dude, man.
6'6".
6'6", and
Yes.
he like at least 270 or something like that.
Bro's got to be 300 plus pounds. So
Yeah.
he's a big dude. Definitely puts up some heft against Michael B. Jordan, which is saying
Yeah.
something. And his wife is just like, the comedy there is, she's like, how much you paying? And he kind of just looks at his wife in shock, and he tells her. So they're like, boom. So now we got the Blues Brothers. Now we got the Smokestack Twins, Slim and Sammy on music. We got Bo and Grace on food and
Working
catering.
food. And
We've got to mention that we also got Annie,
she's bartending, I believe, right?
bartending and cooking. So she fries up all
And
the catfish.
yeah.
Um, she's coming too, and then we got Cornbread as the bouncer. So we got everybody. So
Oh, we got Sammy too. Sammy meets his boo when they're in town.
Oh, at the train station, we forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
so now we're starting to cut slowly into the love story part of the movie. So at the train station, where, man, it's so hard to keep them apart.
I know.
Where one of the Smokestack twins is talking to Haley Steinfeld. Sammy meets this beautiful black woman who is just looking him up and down. Got the lust
Hmm.
eyes, and he's like, "Hey, baby, what's going on?" And she's like, "What's up?" And he's like, "You gonna pull up to this function later at the club?" And she's like, "Yeah, but don't get ahead of yourself. I'm married." And he's like, "What that mean?" Basically. Um,
Yes. They got some infidelity already brewing.
yeah, already brewing sinning. You know.
Yes.
So we got all of it. I mean, there's gluttony, there's greed, there's murder, violence, like infidelity. Like there's just pretty much like everything you can define. But that's the plot of this movie, is everyone's a sinner, right?
Hmm.
We're not going to pretend like these characters are all saints. Like everyone's got something they do and that they probably shouldn't be. But that's what makes them people, and that's what makes them grounded.
Yeah, it makes them human. Yeah.
Yeah, so now this is the love story arc. So we ended Act One, which is the get the money heist, the Blues Brothers, the gang movie, the setup. So
Around town.
yep,
Yeah.
we got all our shit together. Now we're going into Act Two, love story. Boom. So now we also get the introduction to the horror element too.
Right.
So
I was gonna say.
see this white man burning, skin crispy, running up to this
Brian,
house,
he
banging
came
on the
jumping.
door.
Yeah.
He said
He
boom boom
saw it,
boom. Yeah, he said
flew into the screen.
yes, flew into the screen. And you're like, huh, what's going on? Because you think he's the victim. You think he's running away from a monster. So he banging on the door. He like, hey, like I'm getting chased. Let me
I
in.
need
Looks
to
in
be
the
let
back.
please let me in. Yeah.
Immediately see the clan robes in the back of the shot. You're like, okay, so yes, this family living in this shack is part of the clan. Uh,
Hmm.
so they invite him in. Very important that we mentioned that part. They invite him in for safety. He basically pays the. He says, I'm getting chased by Native Americans, so he plays the "we're both white, you need to save me" card, and it works because his dumbass clan member is like, all right, brother, get in here. Um,
Hour, yeah, literally.
so around sunset, the Native Americans pull up. They dripped out. Oh my god. Like they
Man,
are dripped out. They got the threads on them, the horses, they got the guns. They look
man.
amazing, bro.
Also fearless. Like
Fearless.
the main guy gets off his horse, walks up to the door. The lady has the gun pointed like at his chest, and
He
he's
ain't
just
worried.
like,
He ain't worried
"Have you
about
seen
that.
somebody?
Yeah,
There's
immediately to
someone to watch
business.
over here."
Yeah, he's like there's a white man. He's like very dangerous. Like he's bro. These are our witchers of
Mhm.
1930s Southern America. They're monster hunters. Yes, this is Geralt of Rivia coming here to handle business. Um,
That's so funny.
so she's like, "Nah, you best be getting out of here." And he's like, "Check it. If you've already invited him into your house, it's too late. Let us in to kill him now, or y'all are cooked." And she's like, "Get out." And then the other guy is like, "The sun's setting. We gotta get out of here." He's like, "All right, lady, I warned you." So they leave, and she's like calling out for her husband after they leave. Walk into a dark room. Bro is face down, ass up, dead as fuck. The Irish dude that they invited into their house, his eyes are bulging,
Red.
beaming red,
Yeah.
fangs, bloody mouth. He does some kind of quip about how the husband's on his side now. Husband gets up, turn into a vampire. They eat her, turn into a vampire too.
Yeah.
So
We get a classic like scream like outtake where she's like,
yes, fade
and
to
it goes
black.
out, it
Uh,
fades out. Yeah.
Man, so yeah, we're real. Like, we're cooking. We're cooking.
His name's Remick, by the way, the
Remick.
main Irish immigrant vampire.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. A vampire lord, a Dracula type, conjurer of the dark arts. Yeah, so Remick has now turned two more people into vampires. So boom, we're at the club. Things are hustling and bustling. Everyone is there. The whole town is ready to move. And then we get
Mhm.
something that's very interesting. So one of the townspeople walks up and he's like, "What do y'all got for a drink?" And they're like, "We got beer, wine, and corn whiskey." And he goes, uh, "I've never had any of the other stuff. I'll just take a classic corn whiskey." And she's like, 50 cents. He puts 30 cents down, and then this other form of currency, which I'm actually familiar with because I've had family friends discuss this form of currency before, which I didn't know outside of this conversation. Which, obviously, this is what I mean by this movie's importance. It hits very close to home. You hear these experiences communicated in the film, and you can relate them back to some of your older family members. If you're a black person, and kind of hear that struggle in these memories, whether nostalgic or horrible. This alternate form of currency, what it essentially is it's non-government official like money that is used in certain areas of the South. And so what you would see is sharecroppers and people post-slavery area basically having to use this non-official currency to buy things. So it
It's
doesn't
like
have value anywhere else outside of the location, and it's kind of just another way to reinforce discrimination, segregation, and to make sure that these black people can't succeed. So he's like, "Is this? Can I use basically this to cover the rest of the 20 cents?" And they kind of look at each other. They're like, "Yeah, that's cool." And uh,
smoke is
Smoke
like
is like, "What the
no.
fuck?" He's like, "This is a goddamn business. This ain't no charity." He's livid. He's like, "We can't be accepting this fake money. We need real American dollars if this place is to succeed." And they're like, "Check it. We get you, but this is the first night." Yeah, Stack and Annie are like, this is about community. It's not just about, like these people want to feel like this is the place they want to go to. They need to feel like it's their safe place. So he kind of
Mhm.
concedes to that. So, I really like that scene. That was a really good one. And it's about to get juicy. It's about to get juicy. So everybody's shucking and jiving, and Mary pull up. Haley Steinfeld, boom. She like, "Let me in, cornbread." And cornbread's like, "Huh, man?" And he takes his
Who's
hat
you?
off. Yeah, and he's like, he's obviously nervous. He's like, "Oh damn."
It's a white lady. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
They all stood to attention. Or he did when he saw her. He was like,
Yes.
"Oh man."
He's like, you must be in the wrong place, ma'am. And she basically is like, shut the fuck up. We're childhood friends. Let me in right now. And he's like, damn, I bet. So he lets her in, and immediately she's on time. And she's like, where Smoke at? Where you at?
Stack, we're stack
Where
at, yeah.
Stack at? I'm gonna mess him up the whole time. Mess him up the whole podcast. Smoke and Stack the same person. Yeah, it doesn't make
Yeah.
it. It doesn't make it better that they're both Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, so she go looking for Stack. She already started timing with him, and then this is where we cut into the love story. She kind of gets deeper with it. She's like, what the fuck? Like, you really lied to me. Like, why can't you just say? And he's like, say what? That I love you, and that anywhere you'd be. And here's more foreshadowing. Anywhere you'd be with me is dangerous. And anywhere outside of where we was at in town is going to be dangerous. So it's like, if you're with me, it's not going to end well for us, type shit.
Right. Yeah.
And she's like, I don't care. And he's basically like, also you're white, go live with your white husband. And she's like, I don't give a fuck about him. I never wanted to be white. I wanted to be
Oh,
with
she
you.
is married. I totally forget.
Yes. And so you find
Wow.
out, which is also true to Haley Steinfeld in real life. Mary is actually a descendant of a black person. She has one black ancestor. In real life, I believe her mother is mixed race.
Yeah.
So she'd be like 1/8 black, either one fourth or 1/8 black.
I saw it was like a 12.5. It's like a grandmother was like half black or something like that. Is that how they describe it in the movie?
And in the movie,
Okay.
it might have been like that, or like or she or fully black. I'm not sure, but it is a distant relative enough to have made her currently appear as a white person. Obviously, she doesn't have blonde hair or anything, but yeah. So that was an interesting piece because it kind of shows that there's like still this intermingled culture. It's like the same with the Native Americans, same with the Chinese, same with the black people. There is this like shared minority status and experience for those who either really close. Who are literally connected to some form of minority status. And so that was a very cool reveal, and also a very unique one. I have not seen a movie ever, especially a movie that centers around black people, be bold enough to kind of introduce that line of questioning and that topic to an audience. Because that's bold to show, to acknowledge the minority status of someone who is not just white passing, but like for all intents and purposes white, if you didn't know it. So to have them acknowledge that and also take it seriously was like kind of interesting, especially me like being mixed. It's interesting to see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Sure.
And so they're kind of rekindling that through frustration, and then Sammy's girl pull up. Hey, Sammy's girl pull up. She's also a singer. So this married woman Perline is her name, played by Jamie Lawson. So she's there, and he's spitting game again. And before this, we have this gratuitous conversation where Smoke and Stack are telling him how to go down on a woman. So he's kind of thinking about that the whole time. And then we get we get the section.
I think they start playing. I think this is the main event.
I think we get introduced to the vampires before they start playing because oh no, yeah, because that's what attracts them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the best scene in the fucking movie. This is the scene Spike Lee tweeted about. This is the scene that everyone on Twitter's been talking about. This is the generation. This is the scene where you like almost start crying because it's just perfect. So Sammy, Delta Slim, and the whole band start playing music, and we get this narrated Southern voice re-explaining the magic and the lore of the movie. So he's playing this beautiful blues song, or everyone's playing this beautiful blues song, and it explains that the power of song is so powerful that, or the magic of song is so powerful that it has the ability to commune with both the ancestors of the present and the past and the future. So it basically transcends space and time, connects you to your culture, is what the thematic representation is. But it also has the ability to attract evil magic, hateful creatures that'll come to steal its power, basically. So he starts playing, and it's in this amazing, beautifully shot scene. So it starts to conjure like people from like the African diaspora doing their traditional dances. It starts to conjure rock stars from the future, like the Jimi Hendrix area.
Jeez,
We
yeah.
get hip hop, like and
Break
it
dancing, man.
yes,
Like
break dancing, and then like more contemporary music. So all of black culture and music is represented in this scene, and it's physically manifested and manifested musically because the music in this movie is fucking perfect. So you get the
mhm,
electric guitar, you get the synth, you get like the harmonica and the guitar, and it's all coming together. And then also in the scene, like I said, you're seeing Um, hip hop artists, traditional dancers, ballerinas, all in the barn with these people. So they're all dancing together, um, and
everything black, man. It's
yes,
like beautiful.
and it's a genre movie, but it doesn't unimmerse you from the film. It feels like it makes the music feel like magic. It doesn't feel out of place. This is a weird connection, but I kept thinking about the Great Gatsby movie with um
Mhm.
with Tobey Maguire and
Leonardo
Leonardo
DiCaprio.
DiCaprio, because that movie kind of does it a little bit wrong because it takes like it'll take hip hop music, it'll hip hopify like old songs, and it doesn't feel right for that movie at some points. But this movie, it like murders it. It's like this is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, man. Like well, the entire time, like the camera's just floating throughout this room, showing all this. We have like you said, just the mixing of the music is just insane. Like I don't know how they did it.
All right, yeah, so absolutely beautiful, legendary scene musically, thematically, from the perspective of the camera and just the acting. It's just absolutely beautiful. That's a scene that I think people are going to be talking about for generations and might even end up winning Ryan Coogler an award. So yeah, blows down the barn basically. Like it
The
shows a
music's
shot.
so fire, they just
It's
burn.
yeah, it's so fire that the barn burns down in this kind of magical scene. It doesn't actually burn the barn down, but we have a shot of the barn like fully burned down, everybody dancing in the near the fire, and then it also attracts the vampires, as proclaimed through the narrative voice. So vampires pull up, and this is actually hilarious because it's like this awkward. It's like basically awkward white people things where they walk up and they've got their instruments and they're like, "Oh man, that looks fun." And then Cornbread's like, "Y'all got the wrong place," and they're like, "Nah, like we're trying
We
to
got
spend our
money.
money." And then right
Yeah.
before this, Smoke and Stack, Annie and Mary kind of have this conversation where they do the projections of the math and find out that in a couple of months they're going to be out of money in liquor. Um,
Two
be,
months.
yeah, based on the circumstances and the economic.
They're dropping dollars they're getting instead of
Well,
actual money.
yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be hard or impossible to sustain the juke joint if they don't figure something out. So the white people are like, "We got money," and they're like, "Nah, bro, y'all, we're not. It's not gonna be worth it because y'all gonna come in here." And I think it's Stack that's like, "Yo, the problem is if someone steps on their shoe, spills beer on them, or tries to take their girl, they're gonna like call the Klan and blow this bitch down. So it's not worth the trouble." Um,
Mhm.
but then Mary's like, "I don't know, bro. They might not be that bad. Like, let me go feel them out."
Yeah.
Um, so Stack hands her his gun. And she goes out there, and she's like, "What's good?" And they start singing, and they've got beautiful voices too. It's kind of like counter magic, I guess. They can
Mhm.
sing too, and it's got this magical effect. But they're fucking evil. Um, so she's like, let me see your money, and he pulls out these. And you know what's interesting? The film never directly mentions this, but I think these are conquistador golden coins. Um,
How do you figure that? Because
and they just it
it is
just it
strange.
looked like a gold coin with like a cross on it.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, it could be like magical currency from like whatever realm they're from. But I just thought about like the gold coins from like Pirates of the Caribbean or from just like older movies because he said it's from a time long ago, and obviously if he's a vampire who's been living thousands of years, it could be either either Irish or English gold, which just makes sense. It's like it's a movie about sin. It's temptation, right? So like
Right.
these very tempting gold coins. So he hands her a couple and he's like, just keep them. And she's like, nah, you came out here for camaraderie to be a part of something because you don't feel like you're accepted with them. And you're like, damn, like what's he getting at here? And she's like. And she kind of, makes her choice. She pulls the gun on him, is like, step the fuck away from me. I'm not with y'all. And she tries to leave. horrifying shot, by the way. This was I love this cut. This is like this is the type of horror I love. So Remick flies in like he jumps up and starts flying for a brief second, which is like kind of throws you off because you didn't know the motherfuckers could fly. So he starts flying and then it cuts immediately, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, that's horrifying. Like, bro's eyes started beaming red and he starts flying and it cuts, and you're like, wait, what else can they do? So she pulls back up into the thing, and she finesses Cornbread into inviting her in because we find out that vampires, just like the classic folk tale, have to be invited in. So she says something to him, and he's like, come on in. Boom. So she's in, walks up to Stack, starts, talking sweet to him, gets him in the back room. They start fucking.
No, he says some like crazy line. I cannot remember the name of it. I'm trying to think. Can you remember? She's on something on the lines of, you couldn't go long without this pussy or something like that.
It was something crazy. It was something insane. Yeah. So, and in fact, she was correct. So, they start getting to it, she starts drooling, and I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect this freaky ass scene where she's like, you want some? And he's like, yeah. And she just spits in his mouth. I was like, okay, bro.
They let the loogie go. And I'm just like,
and it wasn't even like regular spit. This was like rabid dog drool. And I was like, get the shit out of my face.
Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah. So they start getting into it. And then, something else starts going down.
Smoke is like stopping a fight because someone just got stabbed. Across their face. So Smoke's like on the other side of the juke jam trying to figure out that situation.
Right.
And he tells Sam, he's like, "Hey, go get my brother. Go get my brother."
Yes, because they're gambling in the back. They're shooting dice and gambling, and this guy wouldn't pay up. So so the guy who didn't pay slashed the other dude in the face when he tried to come collect his money. So he's like, "Go get my brother." He goes in there. Mary over there bouncing on it. So he's like, "I'm not trying to interrupt that." And then he's like, Smoke, your brother in there getting it. He's like, I don't give a fuck. He's like, bro, you better come with me because I'm not gonna I ain't stopping that. Yeah. And so they both go, and then this time, instead of bouncing on it, she bite his fucking throat out. So Smoke walks in. He's like, what the fuck? She stands up. This motherfucker lets loose, ups the switch on her, Swiss cheeses her right then and there, and he's bleeding out, and they run over to him. She gets up. She starts laughing. She's like, all y'all motherfuckers finna die tonight. And everybody is in shock because she just took like 15 bullets to the chest, got up with no problems, got red eyes and sharp teeth, fully sprints out the door. So Stack bleeding out. He dies. Smoke cannot accept the fact that he dies. Sammy's freaking out. Annie pulls up. Pretty much all the main characters now meet in this room and are like, what the fuck's going on? And they're like, she just bit his throat out. I don't know what's going on. She just ate bullets. And then the gears start turning in Annie's head because she's like, wait, bitten by the throat, just ate like 12 bullets. We're dealing with a hate, which translation in folklore is a demon. She thinks it's a possession. Not a vampire. So she's operating under, which I fucking love, by the way. I love when characters work through like thoughts. They don't instantly just know shit. This is amazing.
What it is. Yeah.
The progression of logic here was great. So bro bleeds out, and then the vampires, they show up again. And she's like, all right, lock the doors. And then Cornbread's like, I gotta go take a piss. And now we're in full-fledged like vampire horror movie. We're on Nosferatu. We're getting down like
we on timing
because we was already bouncing on it crazy style 2 seconds ago.
They send everybody outside because they think it's just a possession.
Yes,
and
everybody's like, what's going on?
We all know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
but
they like, what's up? They're like, party's canceled. This shit is over. Everybody go home. So like 80% of the club leaves. So our main cast is there. With also Pearline and a couple other people. Everybody outside. Like I said, Cornbread goes to take a waz. And then you hear this is the part of comedy. Cornbread is peeing, and his peeing keeps getting interrupted because he keeps hearing these whispers like, Cornbread, turn around. And you can hear his piss stream stop, which is fucking hilarious. Cornbread gets turned. And so Cornbread pulls back up, and he's like, what's going on? And he's acting different. And they're kind of like, what the fuck? Like, why are you being so weird? And Annie's like, stop, don't let him in. And they're like, what do you mean? She's like, he has to be invited in. Like, y'all not peeping this?
Hmm.
And he's like, man, what the fuck you talking about? We've been here forever. Just
Let
come
me
on.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just come on. Tell me I can come in. I'm good. And she's like, why you got to be invited? Kind of peeping him.
Like, you've been coming through like in and out all day. Like,
Yeah.
no, you weren't invited that time. What's going on?
Genius level Sherlock Holmes play on Annie's part. So she's like, these aren't hates, they're vampires. Um, so and the audience knows this, but they don't. And obviously, like, you just told a room full of regular folk that vampires are real and that they're here, so it takes a second to believe. And Smoke's brother just fucking died, so he's not really
Mhm.
listening to all that. But he kind of wakes up to it because he's like, yeah, I guess you did eat on the bullets. So he asks, Cornbread asks for something.
The money. He's like, I need to get paid. Give me my
Oh,
money.
yeah. And so he's like, all right, so this is the test. So he reaches out to hand him the money. Cornbread grabs him by the arm, tries to pull him outside and bite him. This motherfucker, Smoke, quick draws the
Ooh,
nine
yeah.
and blasts Bro in the mouth, blowing his face off, and barely escapes getting bit, comes back inside, and then Cornbread gets up and his face is blown off, but he's still alive.
Yeah.
5 minutes before this, by the way, they picked up the guy who got slashed in the face with a knife because they thought he was dead. Oh, no, that's not even that part yet. Okay, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so
That
they
was
come
just-
back in, and then is this when we get the Irish jig, where we get the song?
So I
Or
think
not
we
yet?
either get it before. I think Stack.
Oh,
is
yeah.
vampires, and he's out there doing it with them.
Yeah,
I think,
so Stack is still in the closet, and he starts banging on the door, and he's like, bro, let me
let
in.
me out. I'm all right.
Yeah, and they're like, nah, bro, like, you tweaking. And in fact, he was tweaking. So he busts down the door, runs outside, and now it's like everyone's outside. Oh, yeah, Bo also went to go get the car because during the vampire stuff, Grace was like, we have a daughter at home. We got to get the fuck out of here. So he's like, all right, I'm going to go get the car. So he gets fucking killed. So half the cast is dead and half the town is turned to vampires. So this is worst case scenario. They don't know what the fuck to do. And then we get this amazing moment. So Remick, as the lead singer, basically does like an anti-music musical number where I don't know the name of the song, but it's like
It's some type of like, Irish folklore. I think that's what they described it as.
it's here, let's see, Googling in real time. I think it's called the Rocky Road to Dublin because you hear it. You hear it in every Irish movie. It's like no. It's like, and he starts tap dancing or not tap dancing. I forgot what it's, but he's going crazy, bro. Bro is hitting it with his
Irish
feet.
jigging.
Yeah, Irish jigging. He's getting down, and he's singing that song, and everybody's in it with him, and he's basically like, this is a amazing community. Like the temptation here is he's like, this group is without racism, without struggle. We're all kind of sharing community in that we're all vampires.
This is when he says like, these people were gonna come and kill you, and I turned them, and I'm gonna save you guys. You guys can join my community where there's none of this hate and none of this racism, basically.
Yes. So the discovery there is that they all share a collective mind. So every time he turns one of them into vampires, he gets their memories. And the clan was in fact the guy who sold them the barn, and they were never meant to succeed. They were going to come kill them and take the barn back anyway.
Yeah.
So, he's like, through me, you can escape that. And they're like, fuck that, you're a vampire. And then Annie explains that when you're turned to a vampire, your soul's trapped in your body and you can't, like, go to the afterlife. And because of that, you're stuck with all your feelings of hate, neglect, and just anger. So all your negative emotions are trapped in you with your soul. And that's why you like to eat people. So they find Bro who got slashed in the face down, in the barn. So they're like, one of us might be vampires as an infiltrated group. So she's like, we need garlic steaks, blah, blah. So everyone has to eat a garlic clove. And this is just pure comedy. Perline hates garlic. And so she's just fucking, nah, I don't want to do it. Nah, I don't want to do it. This is the scene in The Thing where they're trying to figure out who's the, but it's unserious. So they're like, bitch, you don't eat this garlic. So she eats it and she starts wigging out, and they're ready to to shoot her, and she was just tweaking, and then Slim.
One that got me, bro. Slim
is tweaking. He's like, all right, like he sounds like he's turning into a creature, and they're like,
I need to lock in.
and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like the vampire got my fucking nerves messed up, So he was literally just tweaking. He was just drunk.
I'm drunk. Yeah.
So he was just being dramatic. And they're like, okay, cool. So nobody was a vampire, but then they realized they left Bro outside. So they got to go get him. And when they go get him, it's too late. He gets gets sacked.
who turns into this like sprinter, man? It's Cornbread, man.
Yes.
He is going at this dude.
Number 15, Louisiana University, Cornbread. Just tackles this guy at 80 miles an hour and starts
Boom,
eating
boom,
him.
boom. LSU. Boom, boom, boom.
LSU.
Open the door. Bro, boom rush tackles this dude to the ground and just starts eating him, man.
Yes. They're cooked. And so uh, Grace then discovers that Bo has been turned into a vampire. And
Yeah, because while he's eating him, Bo pulls up. He's like, "Hey, babe, I got the car ready. It's time to
yes,
go. Time to go. Let's go."
she's like, you don't see this shit. And he's like, we ain't worried about that. Come on now.
What do you mean? Yeah, like we gotta go back to our girl. Like, yeah, we gotta go. Let's go.
Yes, and what tips them off is Remick accesses Bo's memories and is like, I know you like to be licked, which is crazy. But then he goes,
Oh
if
my God,
if you
like,
don't get the fuck
I need
outside
it.
right now, oh yeah, he does. And she was like, that white man was speaking Chinese. That's the devil.
Yeah.
So she's like, if you don't come outside right now, I'm gonna go kill your fucking daughter. And then that's what really activates her. And she's like, hell no. So she, through her rage and frustration. Also, there's a moment where Stack and Smoke also have an exchange about why they should become a vampire, because he's like, they're also veterans. That's a very important thing. Part of why they're super cool
World
John
War
Wick
One?
badasses. Yes, they were in World War One in the trenches together before they were gangsters. So he's like, I've always protected you, so come join me. And honestly, he kind of takes a step forward. Like the vampires, like the temptation from the vampires is pretty clean. They almost get Sammy to step outside because they're like, if you give us Sammy and his magical music, we'll let you go. So Sammy tries to go out there, and they're like, no. So like honestly, this community is like this small group of people, they're saving each other from themselves. So yes, eventually Grace has enough, and she's like, "Come in, you fuckers!" And then, like, even though they try to cover her mouth, she invites them all in. So they
Like bites Smoke's hand or something
Yes.
when he puts it over their mouth.
So they've got rifles with staked bayonets. They've got garlic. They've got vampire hunting weapons. So vampires storm in. Amazing action scene. Now this is what I think was the benefit of Ryan Coogler being able to direct something like Black Panther and like MCU action movies, is because he understands that the audience wants some kind of physical payoff, like an action scene. So we get this like cinematic, awesome action scene with good choreography, where it's just a classic vampire brawl, Blade style. They're killing vampires. Vampires are killing them. So we kind of lose most of the supporting cast. Also, more foreshadowing. Kayla was doing a really good job pointing this out. A Delta Slim previously, he said when Sammy was explaining that his preacher father said that the devil's going to follow him home one day. Delta Slim said the devil has been dancing with me for a while, but he gonna have to go through me before he gets to you. And then in Act 3 later, he slits his own arm to distract all the vampires so Sammy and the others can get away. So he did make the devil go through him before he gets to Sammy. So,
Yeah.
so
Specifically, man, I gotta shout one out to Grace. She threw that Molotov,
Yes.
immediately went after her husband, stabbed him in the heart, and like while
to
on
death.
fire, and
Yes.
just like they just died together.
Yes.
It was like, man,
Yes,
that was
that was it was very intense.
brutal.
Yes, the other intense one too was Annie was throwing the shells around, and they didn't directly explain this in the movie, but I kind of actually learned this from like other things. So that is basically like a future prediction. So when she throws the shells at the table and blows on them, it tells her it gives her an inkling of the future. So she knows how it's going to end, but it's like a Tony Stark moment with Doctor Strange where she can't specifically say why, but she basically tells is it I can do this. Smoke. No.
Yes.
Yeah, Smoke. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she tells Smoke, I need you to kill me if I become a vampire because I will not be one of those things. And he's like, nah, it's a Star-Lord and Gamora moment for the MCU initiated. So she does get bit. He does end up having to kill her. And so that's a very sad moment. But she's like, hey, listen, like I'll get reunited with our baby. So it's cool. So yeah, she gets killed. He has to kill her. They run upstairs. So now it's Pearlie and Sammy, Smoke.
Yeah.
And then so they're about to leave through the back door. Pearline ends up helping Sammy get a vampire off him. Then it's Smoke versus Stack. They both going crazy. Sammy gets thrown out the window. Yeah, Pearline gets killed.
No, he like walks. He thinks I don't know if your theater got a laugh because he
Oh, when
opens
he
his door
fell.
and walks out and falls
So
on his ass.
this is what's funny. So I was in an IMAX theater that was fully packed. No one laughed except the white dude to my left because everyone else was
Whoa.
immersed in the seriousness of the movie. So when he took a step out the barn and it fell, everyone was worried for his safety, except the one guy to my left who busted out laughing but then cut himself short because he realized that no one else thought it was funny. Um,
Dude,
so
I would
that was
say
pretty good.
majority of my theater, like I was just not expecting that because
Oh,
that's
really?
just like
Yes.
it's just
I was worried, bro. I was like, is Stack gonna get killed? Like, I didn't laugh because I just know what's going to happen. So Smoke and Stack, you know, they're fighting, and he's like, nah, bro, join me. And I'm not gonna lie, they hitting licks. You know, the knife comes out. They're fighting to the death. And then Sammy runs into the water, gets choke slammed by Remick. Bro is outnumbered. You know, he's getting choke slammed in the water. He's got his guitar. Beautiful moment of storytelling because Remick explains because he starts praying. Sammy, in his moment of fear, he thinks he's going to die. He starts praying, Our Father, and Remick, as a vampire, starts praying with him. And the shot is beautiful, by the way. They're in the water. There's like the moonlight hitting them. There's fire in the background.
it's
Like
like dusk or dawn. I think it's dawn, right?
yeah, dawn is approaching within the next couple hours, and so it's just like this. It's beautifully shot scene, and he's praying with him, and he goes, I remember. Like, 'cause he's basically saying, as an Irish immigrant, when the English came and forced their religion upon us and colonized us as they did you, although that religion comes from colonialism and them taking over my people, it still brings me comfort. And that was that shared moment between an Irish white dude in 1930 and a black sharecropper in
Sharecropper,
1930,
yeah.
as they both have that colonialized experience despite their outward looking appearance. And that was, you know, like another crazy conversation that I don't see a lot of filmmakers having the balls to conversate about. So that was interesting. And then, you know, he's about to kill him, and bro is saved by the guitar, smashes dude in the face with the guitar. Stack ends up killing Smoke. You know, there's this moment of emotion because they can still conversate. Stack's about to kill Smoke, and he's like, yo, like, it's all good, brother. Like, you know, we've watched out for each other this whole time, so you just do your thing. So he kills him. And he kind of feels vindicated by it. So he goes outside, and bro gets smashed in the face with the guitar right before he's able to hit his lick back. He does claw Sammy's face, so that's why Sammy's clawed in the beginning of the movie. He gets that cut in his face. And then Stat comes outside and stabs Remick in the back. Bro basically gets exorcised. He starts turning into a fire tornado. The sun comes up, starts burning down all the other vampires. Boom, we did it. We crushed the vampires. Everyone we know is dead, by the way. It's just
Yeah.
Stack and
Smoke
Sammy. Sorry.
and Sammy. Yeah.
Damn! Yeah. It's just Smoke and Sammy. That's right. Haley Steinfeld's lover is dead. Stack is dead.
Stack.
Yes.
He's dead.
Smoke, Annie's husband or lover, is alive.
There you go.
And so, okay, boom. So the sun comes up, and he's like, Sammy, get the fuck out of here. Take my car. Another moment of foreshadowing, which was communicated to me. Sammy was asking in the car, can I drive it on the way back? And he has to, and he ends up having to drive it on the way back because everyone's fucking dead. Yep. So he drives back, gets in the church. We see that very beginning scene where he's there, and his father's like, "Drop that guitar." Basically, like, leave the music behind you. I told you the devil would get a bro with you, and he's just death gripping this thing. And we get a John Wick finals, like a Last Stand moment, which I didn't expect. Yeah. We get this amazing like Heat action movie payoff where it is. Hold on, I got this. Smoke, right? Smoke is getting ready. He opens the trunk, by the way, because they keep talking about how they forgot the trunk. The trunk is basically a military chest with all their weapons and military grade guns that they brought from the war that they forgot in the wagon outside. So he gets that together, and you're kind of like, what the fuck's going on? The clan is on the way. This motherfucker just had to fight vampires and true love, and the goddamn Ku Klux Klan is on the way.
Yeah, we get like this is like what we thought were going to be the villains, like
yes.
in a regular story, something like this.
Yes.
But they show up in the end, and
yes.
We get you say John Wick style.
Yeah, it's just, it's basically Django. It's the Django moment of the movie.
Yeah.
You just gets to watch this absolutely fine black man just kill a bunch of racists for like 15
Ain't a black
minutes.
movie without some KKKs getting shot and killed,
Yes.
man.
So
That was awesome.
he pulls up, man. He gets the bar outside. It's literally called a bar, like that rifle they had.
The
So
sniper.
actually, they would have fought in World War II, because it's 1930. No,
World War One.
no. It's in World War One, yeah, because
1940.
1939 is when World War II started. So you're right, yeah. So it's World War One. They've got the bar. He's sniping them. He's going crazy. Boom, 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 boom. They they hit bro in the stomach, I think, and
At the end, he
yes, in the
switches to
end.
the
Oh, the
thing.
Tommy gun. Yeah, he grabs the Tommy gun and he just.
Bro. Oh, see, that gives the Al Capone stuff, man.
Yes,
That's the gun he used to use,
yes,
right?
yes. The fully automatic Tommy gun just lights them up, and out there getting sprayed down, man. Like it's the Django moment, and it's great. And you're rooting for him. He's going crazy. He's 1v12 and pulls a fucking grenade, throws that shit in a car,
Oh,
blows
the
that
truck
shit
was
up.
going off. Yeah.
Ends up getting shot in the stomach. But he eats it, by the way. Like you can see it go through him. He kind of looks up and he keeps going.
Yeah. It's like
Um,
through his side, pretty much.
Yes, and then the dude who sold him the barn, he shoots him down, and he's begging for his life and doing whatever. And then right before he kills him, he sees Annie and their passed away infant child in all white. Basically, their ghosts are talking to him. They're like, you can rest now and come hang out with us as a survivor, or as like after you pass away, you've done your job protecting us and doing everything. And so the white dude interrupts them real quick. He just looks over. It kind of gives him like this frustrated look, and then airs him out with the rest of the clip of the Tommy guy. Just peppers him, and then he passes away. And then we finally get to see the resolution of Sammy. You'd think from another movie, the message of the movie would be like, just like go back to the church, like forego this life of music because of its like relation to
Just
sin.
what
But that's not
happens when you do this. Yeah.
yeah, but that's not the message of the movie. He can't let go of the guitar. Sammy takes that broken guitar, he gets in the car, clutches it to his chest, and he just drives. So the message is like, despite like, sin being involved, it's just like, it's a part of everyday life, and, do what you love, pursue music. It has this beautiful power, although it does have a dark side. So yeah, he doesn't give up on his dreams. And then apparently there's an after credit scene, by the way, which I did not know.
Oh, wait. So you actually, because we stuck around a bit. I hear there's two. Actually, I'm not
There's
sure if it
two. There is two. I haven't seen either, so I don't know about it.
really.
I don't
Oh
know
wow.
about the after credit scene. So
Okay.
you can now
I
educate
guess I
me
can
on the after credit
describe
scene.
it. So we get sent to Chicago, and I want to say like 19 like 70s or 80s. Sammy's a established musician. And he
Oh,
has his own,
nice.
yeah, and like this closing up, everybody's leaving. He's like by himself.
Uh huh.
And his bodyguard's like, "Oh, these two people want to come in. Do I let them in?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, sure, it's all right." And it's it's Stack. It's Stack and it's Haley Steinfeld, and they like, "Yo, what's up?" And they all
Hey,
dressed like they from
yo!
the 80s,
What the
and they're
fuck?
just talking about how they're talking about that night, and they said that Smoke and Stack made a deal with each other that the Stack would not harm Sammy or get anywhere near him. So he's just been around with I was gonna say Haley. What's her name? Mary.
Yeah.
And they've been chilling.
So they,
And
they didn't die. They're still
they didn't die. No.
vampires.
So they just show us like a shot of Mary running away, and you could just assume that Stack is just alive inside the barn during the daytime. So he's in the shadows and he's okay. Dude.
Oh. That's
Yeah.
interesting because there is a moment where Annie yells, they can feel, and that
Mhm.
there's that moment like later where he's like, it's all good, bro, I get it. So okay, cool. So they're alive, but as vampires. That's fucking dope. I didn't even know
Yeah.
that. That's a completely
So
unexpected ending.
as he's getting older. Sammy's like he's an old guy. Oh, it's actually in 1992. That's it.
Okay.
He's an old guy, and they basically offer him immortality, like, oh, just become like us.
Yeah.
And he was like, the basic, I've been on this earth too long, man.
He's good. I'm good off that.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
And they asked him to play like a final song, and my favorite part when he's like, you know what, that day was like that was the best day of my life before sundown, basically. And Sack's like, yeah, same here. This is the last time I saw my brother. It's the last time I saw the sun. And they basically talk about like, yeah, it's been one of the best times of their life and also the worst time
Yes.
ever. Like,
Yes. The
yeah,
duality of humanity.
That's how it ends.
Okay, that's actually beautiful, and I can't wait to see the movie again. Because I will be multiple times while it's in theaters. Um,
That's why that scene in the like the car, just him and Stack like listen to the music. They play that at the end, and I'm like, man, like I really understand. It felt so nice.
okay, all right. What? Fuck it. We're getting into the things. I can't remember the name.
Mhm.
Criticisms of the movie. This one's fucking hard. Cause like, how do you criticize like basically a masterpiece? Um,
hmm
do you have any?
I'm trying to think, man. I would just
Cause
I was just so happy to see like a representation of us during that time and like how we still like found time to have fun and to think of like the brighter stuff. And I can't really think of too many negatives in
this is
this
gonna
movie.
sound insane. My only criticism that I can think of at this moment is that I want more of it, which is so stupid. Like like how? What's the runtime on this movie?
It's about 2 hours and some change. I think
Like
maybe like 18 minutes, 2 hours and 18
now
minutes.
maybe the movie isn't as good if it's 3 hours long, but like I could take 3 hours of this movie.
3 hours.
Yeah, like I get it. Like maybe don't. This is perfect, and maybe it's perfect because of like everything. But like I could take like a very ego driven director move where it's like 3 hours. So like there's
So
more of
what do you want?
each. Maybe more of each. Like how and the third like the horror part of the movie, half the barn gets infected because they all walk outside and they all get bitten.
Mhm.
I wouldn't hate more horror moments where like we kind of slowly trickle the people getting turned into vampires instead of them all getting switched at once. In the
Yeah.
middle of the movie with the love story stuff. Maybe I don't need flashbacks because I think flashbacks sometimes are just as bad as verbal
We don't
explanations.
even get flashbacks. Like
Um,
we don't get flashbacks until like the very end where he's like reminiscing about that day.
right.
So yeah.
The only yeah, like that's really hard. Maybe like more moments in the town. People like I don't know, just like more of Sinners. Is
Yeah.
peak. You got anything?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
It's not-
You're good. I get it. Most chilling scene.
Ooh, most chilling scene. Most chilling scene. Oh man. I'm trying to. I can't. Okay, maybe just them creepily singing these Irish folklore
That's pretty
music
good.
and running around like it's like in Midsummer. Have you seen that movie? I'm not sure if you
Yes,
have. They're just like doing these like day festivals, and they're all in these circles, and they're just having so much fun. And they're like, "Hey, man, join us, man. We're having such a great time. It's so much better on the other side."
but
I
it's
think that
always
that
nefarious. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I would
Um,
say that's chilling.
and then I'm gonna go with the scene where Mary gets bit, where Remick flies in the air for a second. It
Oh yeah,
cuts. I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean they can fly? Um,
yes.
pick your death scene. How are you going out?
Pick my death scene, man. Okay, I'm gonna say definitely the bottom one is Delta Slim because I am not being mass eaten by like 10 vampires
Oh,
at the
with your
same
arm
time.
slit? Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, with my arm slit. Oh, okay. I would say oh god.
I have an elite pick.
I can't say are you gonna say somebody getting eaten, man? Because that has to be good. You have to get shot. Like there's
I got a good one. I got a good one. I'm not spoiling it though. I got to go
no,
second.
no, you. Oh, okay. I guess I'll go.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go first. I gotta say, I'm gonna get stabbed through the heart by my loved one, man. I'm
Fuck
so
you.
mad.
Fuck. Damn it.
No, I'm not taking Bo. I'm taking the other one. But
No,
you
I
taking that
know.
one?
No, I was
You
taking that
taking
one too.
Annie?
Yes, that was the
You
best way
taking
to
Annie?
go. That was the best way. Yeah.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. Yeah,
God
since
damn
I
it.
said
That's
it
what I get
first.
for
Yeah.
going second. Shit. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Shit. Hmm. That's so annoying. How else do you like? Damn.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe I gotta go out like a basic ass vampire. You know, just getting just
you get
casually
stake through the.
That's fucked. No, that doesn't sound
I mean,
better.
you can get burnt up in the sun. I mean, they go
That's
pretty fast.
yeah, that sounds bad too. There's not a lot of good.
Kind
There's
of
no.
weird too, though, because I was gonna say like Remick is kind of special where he takes a much longer to die, and there's also like this spectacle of him like
Yeah,
dying is
Remick
like,
is like the vampire lord or the Dracula, like because you know how in like he's like the Nosferatu. In some adaptations of vampires, the main vampire turns people into zombies, not other vampires. And this one it's different because he is turning them into vampires, but he is
Mhm.
like he's like the
the
collective
head of the hive
consciousness. Yeah,
mind,
the head of
kind
the
of.
hive mind situation. Yeah.
So I
So
wasn't sure if like if he dies, all the other vampires are like gone. But obviously with the end credit scene, like that's just not the
yeah,
case.
because they
And they
said that earlier. They were like, if we kill the head vampire, are they all gonna die? And she's like, they're connected, so they'll feel it, but no, they'll keep going.
oh right, right, right,
Um,
right, right. Yes, okay.
yeah, I guess I'll just get like regularly staked out. Cause
Mhm.
oh, that one guy who got stomped to death, I don't want that though. Like if I like out of all the ones I don't want, the dude getting curb stomped after slashing bro in the face, not a great way to go out.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't think he didn't die though. They just beat him up real bad
I think they
and
kill.
threw him
I think
out.
they killed that dude. That
Did they
was like
kill him?
there's like six guys jumping on
Yeah.
this dude's head. I think he's dead.
Yeah.
Also, like the Smokestack twins are fucking gangsters, so I'm sure they wouldn't have let that slide. All
Mhm.
right, grave mistake. So if you're unfamiliar with the podcast, it's the title and the main bit. We basically pick the decision made by a character in the movie that led to the worst outcome.
Mhm.
Um, so I think the grave mistake here is those dumbass white clan people inviting
Oh yeah.
the Irish dude into their house and ignoring the Native Americans'
Okay.
wisdom. So that's
See, I like
the
how you went
grave
to the
mistake.
apex with that one because like I wasn't gonna say Mary going outside because like she was trying to help, and also I feel that if anybody else would have went outside, they would have gotten either.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Like it's just
yes.
not just because she went out.
It was a valid
Um,
decision and a hustle. They also gave her a gun, and like like
Mhm.
those
Sure, yeah,
guys
she,
had guitars. So yeah.
but
You
I
go.
guess you could. Oh man, it's hard because you could say that like even Sammy going out with his cousins and like his singing actually attracting all the problems basically of the night,
See, but
but he
then you're
also
going
wouldn't
against the
have
main
that much
message of the
fun.
movie. Yeah,
No, no, that's what I'm saying. Like you get like the push and the pull. Like he also would not have like really realized that he wanted to do this, and his life probably would have been way different. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna agree with you. I mean, I think that's fine because
Okay, that's fair. You
they
copycat. Gotcha.
stupid
Can't be
as
original. All right.
hell. They stupid. These clan, they like, oh, there's a white man in trouble, man. Oh man, these Indians chase him down. He must have done something good.
Yeah,
It's not his fault. Yeah, I'm gonna say that.
yeah, a blind acceptance of someone that looks like you, not dope.
Exactly.
um,
Yeah.
so sequel possibility.
Don't need one perfect by itself.
Yeah, so obviously I'm an IP man. I'm a company's whore for sure.
No.
I
No.
will always take more of something, even if I shouldn't have asked for it. Yeah, I'll take even if it's an expanded universe thing, like because they mentioned like demons, like the
Oh,
hate
so you want
creatures.
another type of demon in
Yeah,
another type of way to
I'll
summon them or
take
something?
yeah I'll take I don't know, like Michael B. Jordan's Stack and Haley Steinfeld's Mary as witchers or demon hunt, like basically Blade. They're vampires that hunt other creatures. So
Mhm.
I would take an entire sequel of them fighting demons, but like
Well,
done
I
the
mean,
same
I'm
way
sure,
this one
like,
was.
they survived, like, what, this is like 70 years, and they look the exact same
Yeah,
too. That was the
exactly,
best
and
part.
that's what would make it so perfect for a sequel. And I know this is so horrible as me for me to say, but like how I would do it is I would tell a completely different story with completely new characters, where the hates are the main supernatural antagonist, and in the third act of the
Mhm.
movie is when Stack and Mary pull up to like assist in the exorcism of the demons, but you would
Mhm.
still do it like an original story. But then at the end, you'd be like, oh my gosh, it's connected,
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I see.
you said nothing. All right, so representation station. How we don't even like
Don't even need
we
to,
don't even
man. Like,
need
we
it.
can
It's
say it
perfect.
for the Chinese couple. We thank you for adding them into the movie. That
Actually,
was
yeah, it gets like a 15 out of 10.
yeah. Chinese
Um,
couple, the Native Americans that I didn't even know that Native Americans in Mississippi, but obviously that would make sense, right?
yes. Uh, and also
Irish.
the Irish people. Yeah, it's just like with a movie with all black people and as a minority focus, they didn't have to cook so well with the representation of other groups, and they
Yeah, they
did.
know their skills. Yeah,
They
they just know.
everyone got included, even the white man got a piece. Music, oh my god, like there's the blues, the R&B, just like the melding of all of the same moments, or sorry, of all the
Mhm.
different moments in culture, just all coming into one. Like you could listen to the soundtrack outside of the movie and still fall in love with it. Um, Fuck, it's just all good. It's all perfect. All right, so now that we've reached the end here, what would you give the movie out of 10?
And I mean, like, are we being serious? I want this, like, Oscar nomination, Best
Across the
Picture.
board.
Like, if this doesn't happen, like, the Oscars are no longer valid. I
Best
don't understand.
Picture,
I need Michael
Best
B. Jordan to be
Director,
up there for that Best Actor.
Best
There's no
Actor.
way.
Yeah.
This dude plays two different people, like two different people, actually.
Don't forget music too. Like all of these are
Music,
Oscar
yes,
categories, and well,
yes.
they're probably not going to get best stunts, but like because they just added it that category. But yes, like actor, picture, like all of that
Mhm.
shit. Like because let me tell you something, the Thunderbolts is not going to get best picture. So
No, no,
like
no, no.
put up Sinners, please. Just like more of all of this. Miles Canton, Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, Jamie Lawson, Delroy Lindo, Omar Miller, um, everybody. Just more of
So
all of
are
it.
you agreeing with the 10 as well?
Oh, it's honestly, I would go unironically above 10. Like you know, it's a
I knew you would pull this, man.
yeah, I got to
I
do
was
it.
just on you, pull it, man. I'm just,
Forget
oh.
12. It's a 15 out of 10.
We
This is
set a scale for a
I don't
reason.
care.
We
I
have
don't.
not given anything else a 10, I
Well,
don't think.
truly remarkable movies that are also original, I think, are above a 10 because it's not like this is a perfect franchise movie or a perfect story we've seen before. It's a truly
Original
original
screenplay.
story. Yeah, in a time where we're just basically recreating or sequelizing everything. So,
Mhm.
better than perfect. S tier, and like it's just amazing. It's just beautiful.
Yes.
Man, like Ryan Coogler did that thing.
I just love how, like, most of the movie is just black people being black people and doing black people things and showing how that is just normal and how we were. Obviously, there's horror elements to it, but we don't really get too many movies like that. Us
Yes,
being honest.
yes, and it made money, and that's the other important thing is you know it's opening weekend. You know it's already made like a substantial amount, and it making money is basically how these movies get to continue to be made. So everybody,
Mhm.
please, you have to go out and continue to see this film. It's very
Please
important.
support it. Go see
Um,
it in IMAX. I see they got the special IMAX with like the 70
Millimeter,
millimeter.
yes, yes. They recommended, I guess, that Omar Miller recommended that if you're seeing it in 70 millimeter IMAX, you want to sit in the back half of the theater. It just looks better
Mhm.
that way. But yeah, in the craziest format possible. Yeah, like I'm gonna see this movie again while it's in theaters at least once, hopefully twice, and I'm gonna buy it when it comes out. I'm gonna
Oh
hopefully
yes.
get a physical copy of it. I'm here for all of the Sinners hype.
Oh, I just can't wait to rewatch it. Honestly, like I just feel like
And
I could
we're
just
probably gonna end up like doing like a rewatch
a
series
deep
at some
dive.
point where we like where we just deep dive like 45 minutes into the red eye scenes and all the stuff we missed on the first watch. So man, you got anything else for us?
I don't think I do, man. I'm just excited. This black horror is not something I thought would be a thing
Yeah,
popping this hard.
it was unexpected because like Jordan Peele gave us Get Out and then like his series of movies, and now we have Ryan Coogler dipping his feet into the water with horror, and it's a sensation. So horror seems like the genre that that we're just taking over in the best way.
Sure. Like I know they always say like what not Michael B. Jordan. I was gonna say Jordan Peele says like they're two like sides of the same coin, comedy and horror. And
Yes,
I feel like we're always like the comedy movies are just like black movies. We get those like crazy, but we get in the we get in paradigm shift, and I'm liking it so far.
yeah, we spooky. Oh, we scary. Ah. All right. Thank you guys for listening. We're on Spotify and YouTube. Please engage with the content, comment, share, etc. And thank you, and we'll see you next time.
You
Ah.
testy test.
Ladies and
Playing on
gentlemen,
these.
welcome to the first grand shootout Jesse versus Justin.
Hey,
Winner comes out on top. Ah, Ma! He shot me in the back!